Hey y'all, I'm Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show you how I made the cabochon and others like it that I used in wire wrapping this piece. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, I'm using 3 different colors of sheet glass. Everything that I'm using is listed down in the video description, but I wanted to make sure to use sheet glass that had a lot of layers inside of it. Some of the stickers peel off nice and easy, and some of them I need to use some Windex, and I let that soak, and then I can just scrape it off either with my fingernail or with like a razor blade or something. I am a very messy artist, but I do try to get all the dust and crud off my glass before firing it. I use my glass cutters to score lines so I can break my sheet into 4 lengths. I am aiming for irregularity and creative chaos, so I'm not measuring or fussing over straight lines at all. I use my nippers to break these lengths down into 4 or 5 pieces per strip. I do this to all 3 sheets of glass. I don't mind if the little squares that we're making come out different sizes. I think that just adds to the natural variation, and I love it. So the more irregular, the better. But I do want them to be kind of close to the same size as each other. My kiln is a Paragon CS16S, and I love it. I'm using a 12-inch kiln shelf elevated on 1-inch kiln posts. I'm using bullseye thin fire as a barrier on my kiln shelf to keep the glass from sticking. I stack our squares of glass in an order of seafoam, blue-green, and hawkwing, and repeat that pattern. Here I have stacked 11 squares high for this melt. Here you can really see the layers within each layer of glass. This is my ideal style of glass to use for a melt like this. I find that a 3mm thick, like opaque or something without layers, can really overpower an entire piece. In my other kiln, a Paragon CS14S, I am conducting an experiment. I am putting some clear coarse frit between each layer. If I counted correctly, I did 12 layers here.
Oh, that's so nice.
This is how my frit layer cake melted down, firing schedule in my video description, and this is how our first stack with no frit cooked down. I'll be comparing the cut up melts later in the video to see if there is any noticeable difference. We clean up the backs as best as we can to remove the powdery kiln paper. We have a catchment under our sink to catch the accumulation of fine particles. I like the clay trap style under sink catchments. I just love how the layers are looking on the underside so far. I want to remove as much of that residue as I can, but there's still a risk of like detrification and different things like that. So I'm just trying my best to keep it tidy. Here I am using 96 COE, but I'd do it the same way if I were using 90 COE. The important thing here, if you're new to glass fusing, is to not mix your COEs, and beyond that, you should be fine. Yeah, at least that's how I approach it. I try not to sweat the small stuff. It's just fun creativity. The next step, cutting slices on my Taurus ring saw. I find myself wondering if a tile saw with a glass blade would be better for this, but I'm using what I have because space and finances are limited and equipment is expensive and big. Here's a peek of what is inside the melt. I really struggle to not push the glass into the blade of the ring saw, but it's a nice day and I'm trying my best to take it slow and steady, and I feel very lucky to work outside on such a beautiful day as this. So this is how it's looking fresh from the saw. I broke my ring saw blade, so this one didn't get cut through all the way, but we can get an idea of how this is the bonus project. And so you can really see when it's wet, the banding. Oh, and that just looks so cool. I really love. Ooh, I can't wait to see these compared side by side after we get this taken care of. I'm suspicious that just a tile saw, since I'm just chopping these into lines, might be a better way of going about doing this, but we'll see. So I'm going to get them all cleaned up. So these are cuts of the edges, kind of close. You know, they fit together like this. So again, I think this is going to give us some really cool banding. When our slices are cleaned and dry, I stack them beside each other in the kiln, putting any edge cut pieces near the center so they are propped up by the pieces that are flat on each side. I am aiming at having as much of the banding exposed as possible. I sprinkle clear coarse frit on the exposed edges. This adds depth and I think shows off some of the banding in really cool ways after firing. A note to my future self, use double the clear frit as what we've done here, it'll be great. We run the kiln through another full fuse cycle and this is how it melted.
That is so cool.
I go through the same process cleaning this melt as before. I love seeing the details on the bottom emerge as the kiln paper is washed away. Next time, I think I want to try stacking these strips onto clear glass before melting, just to see what happens. Using a gallon freezer bag and a 10-pound weight, we smash.
Not sponsored. Just saying. Okay, ready?
Yes. Oh, that was really cool.
There we go.
Perfect. On a fresh sheet of thin fire kiln paper, I nip and place chunks of glass, having fun choosing which face is showing off the banding the best and choosing which side is flattest for the bottom. A precariously perched chunk of glass will fall over and not in the direction that you want it to just about every time. I would bet money on it. I'd really like to try stacking these smashed bits onto some 3mm translucent sheet glass, either clear or some color, or maybe a blend of colors. Cut around to a 1/2-inch square just to see how that comes out. Be sure to subscribe and follow us here on YouTube and your social media of choice to see short-form videos of more of our art and experiments. We send out a newsletter each time we have a new video, live stream, or shop update, so if you would like some cabs of your own to wrap and coupons, sign up and shop at backtoearthcreations.com. We're sending out one of these cabochons in each of our craft-along kits in the month of March 2025, but if you missed out, we'll be listing any extras to our shop in our weekly shop updates, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. I cannot wait to see what y'all make with our cabochons. I love it when y'all use our artwork in your works of art. This is how the loaded kiln looks before. And after firing. When glass is in its liquid state, though it's an amorphous liquid like all the time I guess, but just in layman terms, when it's all melted, it likes to be 6mm thick because of its surface tension, so they become like big droplets of water. And they keep that shape and puddle out and keep that shape whenever we fire them. And I just love the way that it melts the banding and gives them each, even though they all came from the same colors of glass and the same process, each one's just a bit different, and I just love it. I clean each cabochon and inspect them before letting them dry. Many of these cabs got sent to their new home for our craft-along kits, and I keep any that aren't perfect quality to use in my own work. I don't think something needs to be perfect to be beautiful, but I do try to send our best quality glass to our craft-along kit subscribers to thank them for their support, because they keep the lights on here, I tell you what. Them and y'all here watching these videos, so thank you guys. We have an upcoming tutorial where I demonstrate how I wrapped this piece. We have new tutorials every Friday and a live craft room hangout every Monday. You can always check out our calendar of events at backtoearthcreations.com, as well as we are picking up more on vending again too, which I'm really excited about. So we may be able to get to chit chat in person. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, thank you for watching and happy crafting. Mwah! Bye!